All right, this episode was heavy. Some stuff went down that made me feel uncomfortable at a human level, but also it's war. Things have to happen in war. Really scary stuff. Yeah, spoilers ahead. If you haven't watched the episode, I am running quite a ways behind the official air date of this show, so most of you have probably already watched this, but if you haven't, make sure to pause, go away, come back, because I don't do spoiler free. But this episode was gnarly. So everything about this one is it leans heavily into the premise that the chosen these chosen people that have been running around in this boat for the last however many years have been protected by these Santi and have technology that's been given to them and or shown them how to create and all this other stuff, and that protection seems to have gone away with uh, Mike basically telling them that humans lie and them going, well, we can't handle liars. So, last episode they raid the place, they take the Chinese scientist prisoner, they find out about the boat, and now it's time to take on the boat. Now this episode is all about them getting on the boat, getting the information they need, and then having contact with the Santi. That's a main part of this, but also is the humanity aspect where her character is at the forefront because they're using her nanotech fibers. They basically set up this thing in the Panama Canal. They find that the ship is going to be going through the Panama Canal. They set up her devices and then they set a trap and it just cuts through the ship. And it decimates everybody, men, women, children. It kills everybody, and it is one of the most graphic, horrifying scenes I've ever seen in film or television. It's horrific. They barely, I mean, just they never showed any kids getting cut but and into pieces, but the rest of it was extremely graphic. And if you have a sensitive stomach, oh, I'm so sorry because this was really, really up there with one of the gnarliest things I've ever seen on television or film. And I could stomach a lot, but it was still like, oh wow, we went there. Okay, it's this kind of show. And then I remember we're Game of Thrones right here, so this is the Red Wedding equivalent of yeah, we're gonna do this. So her technology gets used in a really horrific way. What's really interesting is when they confirm that the chosen are no longer being protected because um, she gets convinced to go back and turn on her machine to try to save humanity. Like, we got to be able to figure out if we can use your tech to defend against these guys. The fact that they were attacking you proves that they were terrified, etc. So she turns the machine on. No more flashing lights, and so she thinks they're safe. They all think they're safe. Oh, how wrong were they? Um, because that's really the whole premise here is that we're led and lulled into this sense of they're no longer defending their chosen. We can get all the information we need and everything else. And so they slice the ship up. They kill everybody on the ship, including Pence. The only person left is like the Chinese lady, and if they've got any other splinter cells. But they do get a device, and they take that device back, and the device is supposedly impossible to break the encryption, but then it just opens itself, and it turns out there's a huge file on there. So she goes in with him, the old man, and they have an encounter with the lady from the Santee. And now it's basically her saying, we've determined that you are not worth our time and we're going to kill you because you're a threat to us. It's literally like, we've assessed the data. You guys accelerate. You guys went from Stone Age to this in this much time. It took us 5 times as long. It's going to be 400 years before we can reach you. Which means by the time we get there, your technology will have outpaced ours by 7-fold, and you'll just decimate it. So this is no longer a, save our species. We're now, this is not a conquest. It's a funeral pyre. It's a funeral procession. Like, we are on our way to our deaths if we allow you, because you will kill us, and then you will find a way to get back to our planet and wipe us out completely, so that you'll never have to be threatened by us. And the only way that we're going to be able to fight back against that is to kill your science. And that's what I was saying. And I think it was episode 2, maybe I was saying, wouldn't it be nefarious if? And it turns out that actually was the case. So they've been using their technology to mess with the minds of the scientists and either kill them off or get them to join, have them be killed so that they can just nuke the science. And that's why all of the tests that were being done. It's why physics got turned on its head. Like in the early episode, the first episode of the show, I forget how many weeks it was before science got turned on its head, and physics, as everybody knew it, just went out the window. None of the results were coming back. Everything felt broken. It turns out it's because the Santis sent these devices called sophons, which are like it allows them to have instantaneous conversations. They're basically photonic, quantum dimensional trans conversation communication things, but also they could do more than that, it appears. So they've been listening to everything, learning everything, and they have this confrontation where it comes to be revealed that they don't trust any of humanity anymore, and now they've just decided that we all need to get wiped out. And the biggest thing is like as they end this conversation and they get out of they take the helmets off that they have, her and the old man, and quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. They are deciphering what's going on. All the screens start flicking, everything else, and then all of a sudden we see just worldwide um, this huge like liquid material envelops the whole planet, which I think is one of their sophons, or it's at least the illusion of it, because they're able to control what people see and everything else. And so we see that start to happen, and like these like eyes or something like light up within. It's basically reflecting everything from the ground up. It's just like a mirror enveloping the globe, and then there's just these eyes like watching everyone and watching everything, and on everybody worldwide, every cell phone screen, every billboard, every digital screen, everywhere, it just says it just says you are bugs, and then the planet gets enveloped, and it's just like they literally, because of the storytelling that Pence was doing and telling them. I remember the episode where he was talking about pests. What are pests? And he talks about bugs that you squash underneath your feet because they're just, they're so far underneath you technologically wise. And apparently the Santi have come to realize that we are nothing more than bugs compared to them in their current state. But if they allow us to advance, we will become better than them. So they are using psychological and technological warfare to keep us from advancing so that we aren't able to compete with them when they arrive in 400 years. Super intense stuff. The boat scene was gnarly, everybody. Really, really gnarly. That was horrific. But it's also been interesting to see how many of the Game of Thrones cast are back in this show, even if they're only here for an episode or two before they're offed. It's nice to see familiar faces, and we're reminded that good storytelling can still happen in television. You know, I think that this has been a very enjoyable show so far. I'm invested now until the end, so we've only got, I think we have 3 more episodes. I think this is 8 episodes. I'll have to go confirm that, but I think we have 3 more to go to get to the end. But it's been intense. Can't wait to see what the rest of the season has in store. Hopefully, there's nothing quite as gruesome as that. But is this actually a real sphere? Is this one of the sophons, or is this the illusion that they're putting on everybody's eyes to make them think that this is a psychological event? It's the miracles that they were talking about, scientific miracles to awe and behold. Creepy stuff, man. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Let me know in your comments below, and I'll see everybody in the next one. Cheers.